Welcome back to The Night Shift, your safe space for talking about UFOs, UAPs, NHI, disclosure, whatever's going on with Ross this week, the former USSR, crash retrievals, nuclear commandos, and everything else your friends, family, and coworkers are so sick and tired of hearing you go on and on about. It's Friday. It's 2:07 p.m. on the East Coast, and that means it's time for Friday Night Live. Or Night Shift After Dark, whichever you choose to call it. I want to call it Night Shift After Dark, but maybe we'll do a poll on that. We've got a lean team tonight. Myself, Pavel, Dan, Xander Jones. Welcome back, guys.
Hey. We're here. We're doing it.
What's cracking?
Everything. My brain.
The scene.
I have news overload.
Yeah. Very news-filled week. It's a weird time in this country.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Why do you feel that way? What's going on with you?
Oh, well, just normal shit. Just
normal.
Slipping into casual fascism, whatever. Not a big deal.
What did you see
casual dystopia?
Yeah, that's it.
Did you see there's the new Mark Maron special where he's like he's talking about the left and he's like, we've got to deal with that buzzkill problem. We've annoyed the other half of the country into fascism.
It's kind of where we're at.
Like, yeah, probably. What's going on with Ross Coulthart this week, guys? You were just telling me you were all geeking out about this Ross Coulthart clip. What did I miss?
I wouldn't call it that, but okay.
What would you call it, Pavel?
Pareidolia?
This is the new word. This is the new UFO buzzword, by the way. This is the one. Explain what that means.
It means your brain wants to see something that isn't because of patterns.
Oh boy. Oh,
that's what it means.
Okay.
The thing is,
what do you see?
I'm under the impression that when you see it, you get it, and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I see what you're saying about that. I don't get it. I'm not even at the pareidolia stage with this stuff.
Is this the Area 51 Roswell photo thing that's floating around? This is something else.
Dude, no.
Oh my god. All right.
I mean that may have something to that too, to pareidolia, but it's less scandalous, I would say.
Well, what was it? Can we look at do you have the clip?
No,
or am I putting you on the spot?
Let's keep being vague about it.
I have this video is like full of like an analysis of what's his name? Batista, Michael Batista,
Mike Batista.
Is it?
Yeah.
So he's
Magic
a
Mike.
psionic
Magic
Mike. He's a psionic
I
asset for Skywatcher.
Stripping there for a minute, but
he's a psionic for Skywatcher, or at least was. I don't know if he still is.
Okay.
And look, I don't want to be a dick about this. I don't. Like I have no problem with this being like a real experience that Michael had. But this has not translated into video in the way that I believe Ross has sort of translated it somehow. So he has videos of beings, basically. The eyebrows.
But I also yesterday.
Yeah, you guys remain unexcited about this. I don't know.
He had a quote. Mike Batista the day before yesterday said, or it was in a space, being like, "Tomorrow, News Nation will show video that I've submitted that will like change the world forever." Kind of something like that. I'm paraphrasing, but he made some big build up to this incredible video that was going to be put out in the world, and this is.
And at this point, if you're familiar with this topic and this space, if you make an assertion like that, it usually means the opposite.
Yeah. And there's one about every 6 months now. It seems like someone's got a claim like that, about every 6 months.
So I don't have a particular cue lined up here, but we can flick through the video and find the various sections, and you will see immediately with the. Hang on a second. Let me make sure that we're all in this
together.
Good thing I checked. We're not. All right. Sorry, just give me 1 second.
We probably
So
shouldn't have
here's-
talked it up so big for Clint. You know, we should have just let him experience it.
So this
Now,
is
I want to feel what it felt like to be in that moment. What you guys saw. Let's see.
so this is what we're looking at for basically the entire video is this.
Now you tell
don't-
me that's not an alien. Sorry.
I'm just going to hit play and see where in the video we are, because I don't know. So let's just
Okay.
see what we're talking about here.
My dog has seen more aliens than anybody. Okay, he's always with me, and but he's Belgian Shepherd, Belgian Malinois, Dutch Shepherd mix, and he's.
Oh, they're a very big, fierce dog. They're used by a lot of people in special forces, but they're
Absolutely.
a terrifying animal, aren't they? They're a very fierce
Absolutely.
dog.
So I was like, all right, sorry, dude. We're gonna have to sit this one out. So I brought him back outside, and then that's when something ejected out of the bottom, and then you could see it slowly, coming down until it just started to get closer and closer, and then, once it got in proximity of me within 100 feet, as it was closing in, it did something to me that affected me physiologically in a way that almost made me docile or compliant.
I'm far more interested in this part than what we've seen in the video. Like, I don't discount this as a story, as an experience,
Yes.
at all. Like, I need to be clear about that. Like,
Yep.
I'm not
Yeah.
discounting his experience whatsoever.
Yeah,
I think it's
being-
important
being-
to explore it.
Being fair, though, a lot of what he said is very interesting stuff, and I did listen to it attentively. But the problem was the hyping of the video beforehand. That was the
Well,
problem.
what was the video?
If
I
they
just
if
looked
they
like a
hadn't
light.
hyped it like that and just showed it, I think the reaction would have been very different. But the problem is that hyping, that definitive, like, this is the video. You don't do
Well,
that.
I think it gets slightly worse, like, over the next couple of minutes. So I guess we just keep going, and then we'll
let's keep
stop
going.
at various parts. It from what I remember, it gets a little bit worse.
Which I thought was strange, almost like not a dreamlike state or a trance, but like it was way too casual for me at the time to be seeing that happen.
Well, you're about to have a close encounters of the fifth kind. You're about to meet, allegedly, something non-human. I would be pretty excited and possibly a little bit scared. I can hear your respiration
Possibly aroused.
on the video. You're breathing far more quickly than normal, I think.
Right. And so when it was coming down and it finally hits the ground, I'm standing there and I'm looking at it. I'm like, what is that? I didn't have a frame of reference, because I hadn't seen something like that yet. So I'm staring it down and it's staring me down. And then there's also a chicken nearby and we're all staring each other down. And it almost looked as surprised to see me as I was to it. So
Now, Mike, in that freeze and zoom, you see it looks like some kind of translucent white-blue face, but it's not a human face. It's two black dots for eyes that looks like a sort of a dot for the mouth. And
Pareidolia.
Come
What do you
on,
reckon, then,
man.
fellas? I think that's pretty conclusive.
It
Yeah.
looks like one of the ghosts from Pac-Man.
Disclosure complete. We did it, folks.
That is terrible. Wow. We really are scraping the bottom of the barrel, aren't we, these days? What is going on
Right.
with
I mean,
these
this
videos?
I appreciate everyone's efforts. I appreciate Ross and Mike for doing all the work, but like, come on, man. Come on.
Does it get any better than that, or is that it?
Brother,
think
that's as good as
there's
it gets.
There's a couple better stills, and I think
thought I
they're
saw-
coming up pretty.
There's one
pretty
they
Is
soon.
there a
compared
clip of
to,
Ross going like, "You cannot fake that. There's no way you could."
There's one they compared to a petroglyph, I think.
Yes,
which was,
yeah. Let's
for me,
let's see
that
if I
was the
can get
most
to that.
interesting one. But
I'll
it's
see-
still
I'll skip forward and,
pixelated
try and
stuff.
find it.
Like, it's still like contra stuff, like.
Here we go. This is it. Oh, I've just lost it. Hold on.
That's it.
Yeah. So this is it. Yeah. I mean,
more morphing into certain things. Then it turned into something you see on a petroglyph. And then after that, I saw a humanoid looking form of it. And he was like wearing a skin tight metallic purple suit, greenish, grayish, bluish skin. You know, it was nighttime in the camera. And then after that, that's when it appeared as what you're talking about. And in the video, like when I was seeing it in person for the first time, I was like, oh, that kind of looked like an angel to me, because it kind of had like the wings like this and then like a light emanating at the top, like a halo. But as it got closer, it wasn't that, you know, stereotypical, you know, image of an angel you get, you know, when you think of the Bible. It was a solid craft that was lit up in that way.
At this point, is whatever the object is, entity, object, whatever you want to call it, is it telepathically communicating with you?
So at this point, I was in that docile mind frame, and I don't think that it was. I think it was induced almost, because like once it actually hit the ground and I saw how big it was no bigger than 3.5 feet, and it probably didn't want me to come closer. Like Ross, if something landed right here next to me now, I'd probably be more inclined to walk up to it and see what that's about. But that wasn't a thing. And the fact that I was even able to reach for my phone, I was fighting it. And some of those shots are very shaky. I actually had reached for.
Had seen only a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. During that experience, like one thought I did have was, it's turning into all these things. Like, okay, if I'm just, you know, compared to something that's hyper intelligent, I'm a dumb human. Hopefully.
Me through what did you see this at the time?
Is that the one that looks like he's leaning?
Like, what is that?
No idea.
Now,
And the
also,
petroglyph,
go ahead.
that was weird. Where was the petroglyph one?
That was an interesting one for me. It was like, yeah, there is like a sort of like the same pattern, but that one that you have right there, Sander, that's also interesting.
That's the money shot right there.
Yeah.
This one. But
Now let's also,
I don't know.
That looks like Popeye.
we do have to point out too that like this is more clear in real life. Like if you're in person, you could see these shapes a lot better. You know, when you see a clear light with your naked eye, it's clear. You can kind of see shape better. With a phone, it looks like.
And he was recording with a cell phone too.
Yeah, it was a guy.
And like even taking a picture of something across the street doesn't really look correct, because you know, when you're looking at it with your own eyes, it's just the phone makes everything look small. But that's still, I mean, he seems very sincere, which is always, you know,
that's what puzzles me, man. That all of these psionic people, they are so certain of whatever is going on. This guy, Jordan Josak, also, he went by Lightbringer on X, and he said a lot of crazy stuff before he became public with the psionic team. And these guys talk about like humanity is going to be like in an evolution state very soon. Something's going to happen with consciousness evolution. They're all on this like train of thought. And what kind of rubs me the wrong way, and I kind of already know where Ross is going too, based on everything that he's been presenting for a while. He's also very deep into the whole nonverbal autistic children telepathy tape stuff, but from a more like religious dogmatic aspect, in my opinion. I think that there is something there, very real happening, but there's people that are misinterpreting whatever is going on with these children.
What makes you say it in that way, that he's got a religious dogmatic view?
Because he seems to be veering towards the whole angels, like divine feminine narrative and all that stuff. That it feels dogmatic, religious, cultish to me, you know, because we have to keep going back to the people who like wrote about this shit and investigating this shit from the beginning. Jean Keel, Jacques Vallée, they say that the phenomenon is always tricking you, and it's always showing you what it wants you to see. It's not like, you know, and these people tend to go towards the more anthropomorphized version of whatever they think they see. It's not exactly what it is; it's what they interpret it to be.
I
And
mean,
I
is
think
that the? Do you think that's the idea behind it, though? Like that's what the NHI they're trying to achieve some kind of outcome by appearing to different people in different ways.
I guess it depends on the intent they have, which we don't know either.
Like,
we
is it
don't
like
know.
in Dune where they seeded the planet with religion and this whole like historical mythology, and then when Paul Atreides shows up, they just slot him into that role?
Yeah.
Is this kind of like?
Yeah, it's very similar to that. And I did a video where I got shitted on a lot about Chris Bledsoe and the people around him that seem to be like treating him like some kind of a
Prophet.
martyr or saint or prophet,
Yeah,
And
I have questions about the Bledsoe
I have a
thing, too.
huge problem with that, So I think that's where at least Ross's reporting is moving towards, and I don't know if I align with that. I wanna make it clear that I would like for a more base type of explanation for things, more like a default explanation for the phenomenon, not necessarily an interpretation of something that we think it is happening.
Yeah, through our own cultural lens.
Yep.
Here in the West. Yeah.
People in the chat seem to find this to be the most compelling of all of them. And I get, there's a bit
looks
of
like
a
RoboCop.
resemblance, but yeah, it's
or
not
someone
the same.
or
It's-
someone ducking down holding a cross in front of them.
Yeah, I mean, it could be.
It looks
one
like
of
an
a million
Atari
things.
video game.
You could find a million images on the internet that looks like, and what Pavel said is correct. Like, we don't need this kind of we don't need that image to back up what Michael's saying in this. We can explore Michael's story for its own merit, and he's part of Skywatcher. He's got at least some level of credibility. We don't need to show that alongside. I think that makes it worse. I think these images made his story look worse, unfortunately.
What do you think about in general? Because we talked a little bit before we went live. Dan, you mentioned the media coverage post September 9th of the hearing. It seems to be pretty positive. What do you think of just in general the media landscape surrounding UAPs in the last week or two?
I think that the feedback for the hearing has been incredibly positive, which is great. It's still a huge focus on the video, which I think it's fine. People are talking, but there's so much bigger things to talk about from that hearing. All of the witness testimony, whether it's Dylan or Alexandro or even Jeff, have astounding accounts that should be talked about in the media. But still, I'm just glad it's being talked about and still being held in such high regard. No one really had any problems with the hearing, which is nice.
I saw a clip on CNN of Wolf Blitzer covering the video, which is about as boring mainstream as it gets. And I thought, if it's on this and they're treating it more or less seriously, I mean, they seem to be taking it pretty seriously. That's a great sign.
Yep.
But it is, it's been a busy news week. So it's amazing that it broke through with all that other stuff that has been going on, because it's definitely, there are other things they could be talking about for sure. I'm trying to find that clip too, because it is worth watching. It's only about 2 minutes long. But Xander, you said you saw it on the BBC when you got back, and it was just a completely different spin.
Yeah, I'm trying to find, because I think I screenshotted it, the actual part of. So basically, they were showing it. They were doing a live stream of the hearing, which is a first for the BBC, as far as I'm aware. They've never shown a hearing like that live, and they had a comments section open on the BBC app. If there's a live stream, you can participate. There's just a rolling chat, basically. I don't know this to be fact, but apparently the stream was kind of cut short. I guess maybe they weren't getting the viewership to continue looking after the live page. I guess that's what they would say. But it changed to basically just an analysis from the BBC's future reporter, BBC Future editor of that. which is usually, I think, like, where's the world going to be in 10 years kind of thing. So it's not exactly UAP focused. And he effectively just put us all in one bucket of a bunch of guys that are really into conspiracy theories and are basically looking for a reason to feel special about ourselves. And I found that to be incredibly insulting, because
so just framing it all as a conspiracy.
It's just we're all looking for validation for our own meaningless existence, basically, according to the BBC.
Well, that's not very nice.
It's not very nice.
It's like, you wouldn't say that about like a sports fan who wears the fucking jersey of the actual players on the team and like goes to every game or what, like, it's like, what isn't the term conspiracy theory a term that was invented by the CIA to discredit people who were asking too many questions? I seem to remember hearing that somewhere.
Sounds like a conspiracy theory right there.
Yeah.
It does sound like a conspiracy. Well, I only mentioned it because I had this other thing pulled up and I wanted to refer to it really quick, because this is a post on, I shared it to the Team Night Shift Reddit page, and it's the Carl Nell slide where he's talking about the phases of disclosure. And I've been noticing this like uptick in mainstream media coverage. And let me see if I can just do this. Can I share this screen?
So I've got a bit of the phrasing here. People drawn to conspiracy theories tend to want to feel unique. The secret information they claim to access to claim to have access to can help them feel this. Those who believe in conspiracy theories often feel more politically disengaged. Conspiracy theories also help people make sense of the world they feel is out of control. Like, this guy's not a psychologist. He's the editor for BBC Future,
Just
and
framing
he's making
it as a conspiracy.
He's this is word salad, if you ask me. Right, you want to share screen, right?
Well, I mean, I get the point of like what the idea of what he's trying to communicate, but it's just incorrect. I mean,
Mike
it's like,
Batista just posted a much clearer video on his sex account. I just sent it to you, Sender.
I said as well. Okay, you got it. Cool.
I just wanted to point out
I'll
while we
share
were talking
this
about
slide if you want.
media coverage really quick. Just this is the Carl Nell Soul Symposium slide from a couple years ago, and he's got phase 1 demonstrate. So this is the phases to disclosure. And this has kind of come back up in conversation in the last few weeks, because it does seem like we're on some kind of like a mediated disclosure timeline that's being managed by certain people. And I say that because I'm becoming more and more comfortable with this idea that certain people get the green light to talk about certain things successively. And as that rolls out, certain media organizations are covering it much more respectfully than they have in the past. So if you look at this chart, he's got 5 phases. Phase 1 is demonstrate existence. Phase 2 is correlate signatures. Phase 3 is characterize performance, determine nature. Phase 4 and phase 5 is engagement. And then the strategic end state here is proper oversight restored, I guess, by Congress over these unaccounted for programs. Catastrophic disclosure avoided. This is where that term surfaced when we first started to hear that term. And scientific understanding advanced. Now, if you look at the dates here at the top, he's got January 2024 to January 2026. We're in phase 2. So phase 2 is basically convince lawmakers and the public that this is a real thing. That's what phase 2 means. Like, just establish that it's a real thing and get people to start accepting it. Academic acceptance is like the key objective of phase 2. So by phase 3 starts in 2026 and goes to 2030. And they want to have everybody on board with this by the end of 2030. So we're kind of like in this really interesting, weird pocket right now where it's starting to get serious. And I'm noticing that. Are you guys seeing that too?
Do you think that there's people who are involved in the disclosure push from behind the scenes are telling news people to cover this with more seriousness? Is the news getting a go ahead to cover this more honestly, do you think?
I think the news is the CIA. I think it's the same people.
Well,
I don't even think it's like
Mockingbird never really died. It just like changed names, right? Like,
Well, look at okay, the Jimmy Kimmel thing, right? Like they pulled his ass off the air in a day. Like that was done. That's a done deal, and they're coming after everybody else next. Like, of course they can make a phone call and change the way things are covered, and I think they do it all the time. Look, how much coverage do you hear about things that they don't want you to think about right now? You don't hear much about Gaza, but you did hear about the UFO thing. I mean, that's interesting.
I don't know where I saw a story where somebody was doing an interview. It was a famous person who was going to talk about UFOs and Dick Cheney. And when he was about to start the interview, a microphone, a speaker started speaking and it was Dick Cheney's voice. And it was like, you got to stop this right now. And it was really like, I don't remember where I heard this story, but I just came back to mind. I'll look for it. Yeah, and it was like, fuck, bro, you got eyes and ears everywhere.
Well,
A couple of people are wondering where that chart's from, by the way.
Oh, that's all Nell's.
Yeah.
But
if you go to Reddit's Team Night Shift, the subreddit, it's posted there, and you can see the original post. It's from RUFOs. I cross-posted it to our.
But that's
subreddit.
not the chart that he actually had. That's a different version of his chart.
The one that he was a photograph that leaked of the chart.
Yeah.
Someone else recreated it,
Okay.
but this is what it's the same one.
Same information, but a different package.
It was just from it was a weird angle, and it was from a few feet away.
Two, right? He did two as well, right? Like the one from 2023 Soul and the one that is more updated from last year, right?
I don't know about the one from last year. Is there a newer one? What's changed about it?
It changed like the timeline because the UAPDA did not pass. So he changed a couple of things based on that when the UAPDA didn't pass, because he did one thinking that the UAPDA was going to pass in 2023 and it didn't pass. And then last year he did a different one with the UAPDA not passing in 2023.
Hey, what's up with UAPDA this year? The chatter is that it's not going to make it. Why would it not make it this year?
Roger Wicker is blocking it.
Who the fuck is that?
He's an SSCI member from the Armed Services Committee, and he's the one that is proposing an NDAA that doesn't have the UAPDA in it. And they're already saying that he is. There's a lot of people from the tech industry, from religious institutions, from donors that are the ones pressuring him to.
I'm saying, who does he represent that has that kind of pull?
We can look it up. I haven't checked.
Okay, I'm just curious because last time there was your ties to, Right Pat or whatever it was, and
I've got his Wikipedia pulled up here, and it says, let's see here, officer in the Air Force. There you go, 1976 to 1980.
Ding, ding, ding.
Member of the Air Force Reserves. Member of the Air Force Reserves from 1980 to 2003. During the 1980s, he worked as a political counselor to then Congressman Trent Lott on the House Rules Committee. So
he's
chair of the National Republican.
Patriot.
Yeah, old school. I'm just looking for in House of Representatives. Okay, so it says here committees and assignments: subcommittee on air, land, subcommittee on cybersecurity, subcommittee on emerging threats and capabilities, on personnel, on readiness and management support, sea power, strategic forces, all those subcommittees. He's on the committee on aviation safety, operations and innovation, communications, media and broadband, oceans, atmosphere, and Coast Guard.
Jesus Christ.
Surface transportation.
Everywhere.
Okay. Oh, also subcommittee on clean air, climate, and nuclear safety, subcommittee on Superfund, toxics, and environmental health, and transportation infrastructure. So this guy's in everything. Wow.
Subcommittee on crash retrievals, NHI, and interdimensional beings.
Yeah.
I have that video that Batista.
Cool.
Let's look at that video.
Let's have a look.
This is much more interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it is.
I don't know.
Still don't know what we're looking at, but it's.
Yeah.
Stabilized. It's a stabilized video. Now, is that supposed to be something on the ground?
He's looking down at the like. I have no reference point of how far away anything is or what size the screen is. This is what doesn't make sense to me about some of these, right? Like, if you have an encounter with a person in regular everyday life, right? Like you're at the park, you're visiting a new city someplace, and you get mugged. Right. And it all happens in a second or two, but you like remember that you have a vivid memory of what happened. How are these memories always so fuzzy? It's like, I don't know. He kind of looked like he was wearing a shiny suit, but it also looked like it could have been skin tight and black, but it also looked like it was purple. And it was like, they just seem so vague. And I feel like if you were really being approached by an alien, you would be like, I remember everything. The air was 72 degrees.
Like
I was sweating.
Like abductions, which are really detailed. Many of them, you know.
I walked out. I was washing a dish. I saw the light. I walked outside. I took 5 steps. I saw the fucking thing. It looked at me. I looked at it. I shit my pants. Then it ran away. Like it would be like, it's never like that. It's always just, well, I was like, it's so foggy and I can't quite recollect. And I wonder if that's what he's talking about. Like, is it some kind of,
I think sometimes when you're like face to face with something that challenges everything you believe, I imagine your brain is just like having a tough time taking in what you're seeing, what you're experiencing.
Yeah.
Because there's no frame of reference. If you're seeing like that weird shape that we just saw, you can't even tell how far away it is because you don't like. If you've never seen a plane before and you see it in the sky, you have no idea. It could be 2 feet. Long. It could be 1,000 feet long. It's hard to tell frame of reference for new things. So I don't know. I think the whole thing's very confusing when you're in it and you're dealing with it. You're overwhelmed. Yeah, Pablo.
Also, kind of odd timing that Batista posted that video right as we were talking about the video. So maybe he's watching. Hi, Mike.
Mike, if you're in the chat, pop on the stream, dude.
I mean, any clarity on just like distance and like angle, or it's just hard to know what it is. And I'm sure that there's more to it than what I'm oversimplifying it, but I don't know. Like you go back and watch. Okay. So John Wygant, I have his clip of him queued up. He's the Lance Corporal, Marine Lance Corporal, who was supposedly at a crash retrieval operation in Peru in the 1990s, 1996 or something. It was part of a drug interdiction operation. They shot down something. It crashed. His squad was sent out to secure the site. And then right after that, a bunch of people from Department of Energy show up with a bunch of like super secret ninja team mercenaries. And it's a whole thing. The point is that when he recounts this story, he goes beat by beat. He knows what it fucking smelled like. He knows what it felt like to walk through the jungle and get the purple shit on his uniform. He knows that it burned the hair off his arm. Like every single detail is hyper crisp. And as he's reliving it and telling the story, you're right there with him. It's so detailed. And then, you hear other stories and they just do seem very sort of vague and there's almost like no edge to it. There's no way to really understand what happened. It just seems like, the crash retrieval stuff could be, or maybe it's the mental state that they're put in. I mean, I know Barber talked about that, right? Like he had that mental telepathic connection with the 8 gone, but he was able to fly the helicopter.
Some people just aren't like, I'm not a very, perceptive person. Like recently, a couple of years ago, my wife and I have lived in the same place for 16 years. And a couple of years ago, she asked, do you know what color our building is? And I was like, yeah, of course. And I gave the wrong color. Like I've lived here for almost 2 decades and I didn't know the color of the building I lived in. Like I just don't take in information like I should. So maybe certain people just don't take in as much information during these experiences.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean,
so maybe people are dumb like me is what I'm saying. There might be people that are.
Well, I guess it depends on your mental state, how much stress you've been under, if you've been awake for 2 days, if you're tired, hungry, all those things play a role. I just imagine, if I were face to face with a being, it would stick in my mind more than anything else in my life. It would be, it's like, I don't know. But then I've never been in that situation, so I can't say. I wonder what you guys think at home. Let us know in the chat. What would you do? Do you think you would freak out?
When it comes to experiences and stuff like that, the video, if you were going to provide supporting evidence with a video, the video has to add something, really. Like, the aerial school sighting has no video, and yet it's one of the most interesting and fascinating stories in ufology.
The drawings are better than any video because you have so
incredible
many
stuff.
Yeah.
We don't need a video to take something like that seriously. Like, we're already in. Like, don't you worry. Like, we're 2 feet in the water, so you don't need. You can if you want, but you don't need to show a video that essentially shows nothing.
Yeah, and that's just where I kind of like have questions about the way it's being covered on News Nation. It seems like they are really locked into a hype cycle that they want to keep fresh every week, and I it's hard to be hyped every week. There can't be that many bombshells all the time, and I do think a big part of it is like they've staked out this territory as they're going to cover this UFO thing, but they cover it so consistently. I think sometimes they just have to reach for stuff and use what they have. But it does seem like there are other things worth talking about, right? Like, Dan, you talked about some other things that happened at the hearing. No one's talking about Glenn Gaffney right now, except for the people who knew who Glenn Gaffney was when that name came out. And then they were like, oh my God, he just said it. Yep. Oh shit. That should be the story right now. Don't you think? Or something at least as concrete as, everybody's been saying, well, give us some names. There's your guy.
This
I want a guy who's touched the craft. That's him.
Who ran the science and technology division of the CIA, who was named in a congressional hearing as the guy blocking a UFO transfer to a private company. That's a major news story. You would think.
Should be, absolutely.
Yeah. Yep.
And I don't know, like that's a huge one. And, of course, there's all kinds of other stuff that's going on with, just this discussion about the missile hitting the UFO itself. I mean, I didn't think it was going to be this quick that we completely forgot about the whole Epstein thing, but it seems like we've moved on from that. And this UFO video did a lot of lifting. It was just such a big thing to see.
Epstein is opening the door again a little bit, which is good.
In terms of,
it's coming back around. That story's coming back. I think people are realizing like I don't want to wade too deeply in the waters, but the assassination last week, which was terrible, it very conveniently took over the Epstein talk. But now people are kind of like, okay, that was a big deal, but also remember what we're trying to figure out here.
Yeah, we can't let that one go. Yeah, fair enough. Christopher in the chat says, I'm an experiencer, and folks need to understand that part of the recollection of details is influenced by the experience itself. Your mind is in a different state, and there is a residual effect. Okay.
Totally.
That makes sense.
And when you think about people that don't have those memories come back until 5, 10, 20, 30 years later, and then sometimes has to happen through regressions,
Right. Yeah. I'm just reading some of these other chats here. DNIT says, I believe that Magic Mike saw something but didn't capture what he was seeing on camera because the entity did not really fit in our 3D world. I don't know how to explain it.
I guess cameras are not equipped to see some of these things as they should. I also go back again to John Keel, his concept of the super spectrum. We don't have hardware that is equipped to see some of the things that are out there, and our eyes aren't equipped either. But there's a lot of things out there that are there, but some of us see them, some of us don't. That's the way I see it.
Do you guys know this? There is a story about this woman who her name escapes me right now, but it was one of the weirdest UFO stories. She had the ability, she seemed to be the only person who could do this, but she could pick up any camera.
Dorothy Izat.
Yes.
Dorothy Izat.
What is the rest of this? Do you remember more about this? Because I saw this one time and I was like, that's amazing.
There's a great
her-
documentary on, I think it's on Amazon Prime about her. But she would just pick up a camera and take pictures in the dark. And then when she would have it developed, there'd be all these crazy light shapes that would like, she'd take multiple pictures and in like multiple pictures, just these crazy, Xander, you can probably find her pictures online. Dorothy Izat, which is Izatt, I think.
I've got her book here on Amazon.
It's a really cool documentary that like, and she's just like a really sweet woman. I wonder if she's still around. Are you familiar with her stuff, Pavel?
I've heard her name. I've heard her name, and
You've seen the images.
saw
That's
a few
it.
clips in the images. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter which camera it was. Like you could give her a brand new camera
Yep.
out of a plastic bag and she could just pick it up and take a picture.
Yep.
But to your point, I think that's what it just reminded me. I think you guys were just talking about these sort of like phases that we can perceive where maybe the person holding the camera has some kind of effect on it that they can sort of bring these things into focus. And I wonder if it makes a difference if the camera is shooting on film or digital.
That's such a neat idea. That certain cameras work differently in different hands.
Like the Chris Bledsoe story, it always just sounds like a hologram to me, like this hologram that he saw. And then like what that video that Batista just showed on Ross's show, that looked like kind of a hologram, like it could be projected from a distance, almost like if you were shooting, I don't know, a concert from the audience and there's some kind of like light show going on. It just would look weird on your phone, but if you're in the room, you could see what it is because of the refresh rate or the frame rate of your phone, maybe.
Someone in the chat is asking about the Roswell picture uploads. We're going to get there. We're definitely going to get there.
Before we do, the legend that is Cosmic Serpent just sent me a link in the Discord. He sent me a bunch of all of Carl Nell's slides in like order, so we can see how they've changed.
Oh, you got it? Let's take a look.
Yeah, what a legend. Hang on.
Shout out to Cosmic Serpent. He makes my outros. He's awesome.
That's it.
Right on.
So I'm not entirely sure what order these in, but we can have a quick look and see what we can find. So that's the one that you showed, I think, Clint.
Yeah.
So this is October 2030, 34. Let's see. So I think that's very similar.
And guys, if you're watching at home, hit that like button. We're at 555 people watching, and we're only at 157 likes. That's shameful. We could do so much better. Come on. Let's break 200.
So it's gone up to 34, I think, there. And I think all these dates seem very similar at the moment, but I don't know whether...
forward. What was non-governmental UAP disclosure lines of effort? I can't read it from my screen. Let me go full screen here. Ethics, sociology, anthropology, and religion. NIDS. OSAP. Okay, that's just a different column. Industry and society, private sector. I'm going to run these through the old chat GPT on the mainframe. See where
probably
it comes
need
back.
a little bit more context for them, or to look at them like in a little bit more detail, and we can come back.
I'm going to have the boys down in the lab take a look at these to see what we can
But it's cool
out.
to see there's so many different versions. This one's from the Good Trouble show, apparently.
Clint, do you know this quote? You hacked the Gibson?
That's from Hackers.
You're damn right it is. My man, I knew you'd know. I knew you'd know.
Hack the Planet.
Hack the Planet.
That movie still, to this day, holds up.
It's great.
I
Great
wrote
contract.
a whole concept for Hackers 2, and I had this whole idea all mapped out, and I don't think it's ever going to get made. But if anybody's interested,
Hackers
send me
2,
an email.
Hackers Revenge. It's so good.
Well, the twist at the end is that the way they defeat the super intelligent AI is they team up with the Chinese, and they use that old laptop and the old copper lines, the old dial-up modem. It's the one thing the AI never planned for. So it's a big story. It's a lot.
Oh, crap. I just saw a tweet from Grant Cameron from 2023 that he says that Senator Roger Wicker is the latest deep state cabal member who gets paid $71,525 by Lockheed Martin.
And there had to be a connection there somewhere. There had to be one. Of course.
Is that all it costs?
Yes.
To
I'll
hold
give-
up disclosure, really?
Can we crowdfund 80,000 and have him back off?
This is 2023 though. Inflation is a bitch. So
Okay, well,
you-
I mean, but that's
90
not a bad
grand.
idea though. Like, couldn't you just form some kind of like political action committee that's like pro disclosure and then just crowdfund it?
Yeah, sure. If yeah,
Let's go buy our own Congress people.
guys, let's
make
be
sure they work
UFO
for
donors.
us.
Let's be UFO donors.
Well, that's what it's going to take, right? I mean, everything's for sale. So how much does disclosure cost?
Time for me to fire up my OnlyDans account. Start showing my feet pics.
Ew.
You want to talk about this Roswell thing or
Hell
the?
yeah.
Let's go there. The Roswell photos.
I'm feeling pretty negative on evidence today, so let's dig into it.
I want to talk about these nuclear commandos too.
Huh?
But this will lead into that. Department of Energy Commando Ninja Team.
What is the thing?
Oh yeah,
Did you
it's
guys-
all in UFOB.
Did you guys see that Rob already released his paper on
Yes.
on secrecy, and it's pretty detailed, quite detailed. And
Follow
extensive.
Burning Rob at Burning Rob on X, and he posted an article he's been working on for like over 6 months.
Yeah, and it's a 30-page paper, basically, something like that.
Oh, is this that big page? This is that
This is
one.
the one.
Yes, he released it. He talks about Veritas. He talks about all the involved people with the money and the secrecy. It's very, very good.
I just found. Okay, I've got it on his.
I'm going to see if I can find a better link for the Roswell stuff, because I'm just getting bombarded with ads from the Daily Mail, unfortunately.
Oh,
Christ!
I can get you one.
Yeah.
Feel
Hold
free.
Give me 2 seconds. Just the video or the pictures do you want?
Video.
Whatever you
I
got.
think.
Here's the video. I just sent it to you.
There you go.
Rob is becoming a legend for sure, folks.
Here's a color corrected image of the most interesting still of the video. I just sent it to you.
Cool. Right. Okay.
Ebony's like, the chat's crazy right now.
All right. This is the video, I think.
They got a fever.
So, so these were released
Okay.
apparently by accident in the National Archives. Am I right?
Can you full screen that?
Yeah, I'll zoom in a minute. Is it actually confirmed that it was an accident, or are we just kind of assuming that it was an accident? Okay. So I'll zoom in. So this is a video of pictures, isn't it?
I love those. A video of a screen showing a slideshow of pictures.
Copy of a copy of a copy.
What are we supposed to be looking
So
at?
pause right there. Oh, never mind. So pause that. So that line to the left, can you kind of like with the cursor kind of, yeah. So that right there, they're saying is the craft buried in the dirt, which doing a lot of heavy lifting there to say that is the Roswell UFO.
Well, who's they?
A lot of people, I don't know. It's yeah.
Everybody.
The majority of
them.
people.
The video
majority of
itself
people, yeah.
is labeled Roswell, is it not? The actual like archive, sort of the archive entry is apparently related to the crash. So
Now, I'm not saying that's not it, but I'm having a tough time making that leap personally.
I can't see anything.
and this would be the aerial sort of shot of it sort of landing, hitting the ground, and then sort of coming to a stop, I guess.
I mean, it could literally be any crash of anything, almost. I don't know.
Recovered? Oh.
Oh, okay. Well, I see. That's a little better.
So that was done with AI, really. And people are sort of noticing that it kind of looks a little bit similar to the drawings of the craft as well from back in the day.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can find one of those and we can do a side by side.
The shape of the crash site just looks awkward. Like I would expect if it were going fast, wouldn't it spread out over more area? It seems like it's just kind of like pop right into this one little divot.
Oh yeah, I saw that too.
Oh, I saw that. I couldn't see it. I saw it, but I couldn't see what looked like a body. It didn't
And they're
resolve.
saying, yeah, and there's, and that it looks like the same being from the alien autopsy video from '97,
Right.
which I think was clearly debunked. But now they're saying no, it's real again, and here's the proof. And for fucking
I mean, this just looks like a modern stealth fighter, which is kind of probably the whole idea of why we have a reverse engineering program. But what was that little honeycomb?
Do you guys remember Tom DeLonge saying that this was German?
That the
Kinda.
Roswell crash was German?
Yeah, that's what he said on Rogan.
No, I don't remember him saying that.
Yeah.
Where did he
Said
get that information from, or where did he say he got it from?
He said, just look at the people that I'm talking to or surrounded by or something like that. And I guess he's alluding to people like General McCaslin and all those people from Lockheed Martin that he hangs out with. And I don't know if that's true. I there's no way of knowing if that's true, but let's just assume and use our speculation lens for a little bit. If Magenta is real and it happened in 1933, they had 12 years to work on whatever crashed in Magenta in 1933. And
The Germans.
yeah,
Yeah.
and the Italians too, because
the
Mussolini was the one who allegedly picked that up. And
Yep.
so I guess that's where it's coming from, that it's German or, but I don't know. It's
I
really
just
hard
don't know
to-
how much progress 1933 Germans and Italians could make, even if you gave them a craft with the lights on and the keys in the ignition. Like,
That's my exact thought too. And half of that was in the middle of a world war.
where they just don't have the resources and the brain power is all going elsewhere. I mean, the Germans did have a nuclear program. They were working on all of those things. So
I know.
but I don't know. What could you do? I guess you could figure out some.
When
basic
did
stuff.
Italy and Germany start working together in World War II?
in the 30s though?
Well, Hitler invaded Poland in 39, and the U.S. got involved in 41. I wonder when was Italy involved from the beginning? I forget.
I don't exactly know, but we can ask.
Well, let's ask the Italians.
When did Italy enter World
Prego.
War II? Italy entered the war June 10th, 1940. So they had 7 years with that craft. before
Mussolini and Hitler began to form a working relationship in 1936 with the Rome-Berlin axis.
Oh,
What I find most interesting again about the Roswell images / video combo that we got this week is the fact that it's apparently associated with Roswell by the National Archives. That's the most interesting thing for me. It's not the image itself. Again, it's just the image could really be anything. How
does that submission process work, though? To submit something to the National Archives, is it verified by
good question.
someone?
I'm trying
can
to
you
find
submit-
it right now on the actual archives itself to see if there's any information about that.
It's just interesting because they had a bunch of UFO files that came after the first PDA push. It passed in the watered down form, and there was this sort of requirement that everybody turn stuff over to National Archives. And then right after that, a bunch of stuff got published, and there were some cool photos in there, which were, I think, more discernibly of craft than this one. but I wonder how much more UFO UAP material has been turned over since then, if that's ongoing or if there was no teeth to it. It was almost just like in paper, on paper only, like they were required to do this.
So it says record. I'm on the. I'll share screen. I don't know why I'm not sharing screen. Let's just share screen.
So
you don't have to take my word for it. So this is the National Archives entry itself. What's interesting, it says Record Group 341, Records of Headquarters, U.S. Air Force. And then it goes on to the series of the files that have been uploaded. Then it says the Roswell incident. And then obviously there's the 21-minute video within which is the... I don't know at what point the video it enters into the but you know, there's a lot of other. I don't know what all of this stuff is. Like, is this just something that they had on file that was submitted to them at some point? Who knows?
Well, that's the thing.
Strange.
It's like, without any context, it's hard to even assign a.
Also, it just dawned on me now how funny it is that we call it the Roswell incident, like the most important moment in human history. Just a little incident.
And it looks like this is like an old documentary. I don't know.
It doesn't look familiar.
Everything's so out of whack at the moment.
Yeah, well, that is weird. I wonder. I just
like, this stuff is in the video as well. So like, what is this like?
Just old UFO magazines. Like, this is all there used to be. It was like you'd see this at the bookstore. Be like a 45-page magazine about UFOs.
Speaking of books, by the way,
yeah.
Just for 1 second, I would like to plug our friend. There we go, Andy McGrillen, who has that UFO podcast, which might be maybe the best UFO podcast going. He asks the best questions of everybody. He's my favorite interviewer in the field. He wrote this book called The Atlas of Unidentified Flying Objects, just covering, some of the best cases that we have. Great pictures, quick little read, good little stories, a good starting point for somebody. But that is available now everywhere. Support Andy.
I'm going to put the link in the chat. Hang on a second. I have the Amazon link right here.
And it really is great. I actually didn't know what to expect from this book. It's really interesting. Really, really interesting.
What's it? So what's inside? What is it?
So each chapter is like one little story, like the Devil's Den case or Ariel School. Just a quick 2 or 3 pages per case with some great images and stuff. It's awesome.
Devil's Den is a cool case.
Have you ever listened to Andy's interviews with Terry Lovelace?
No, I have. No, that's not true. I did hear one of them, but it was a while ago, and I like Terry Lovelace a lot. I've got his book here. But I know, has he done more than one?
Andy's talked to him, I think, at least twice. And but either way, really, really good interviews.
It's where I got turned on to that case, actually, is on his show.
Yep.
And it was then I bought the book, and then I watched a bunch more of Terry's interviews on other. He does like a MUFON presentation where he talks about it. But his case is really unbelievably complicated.
The image. I can't stand that image, man.
Man, it's good.
It's my least favorite image.
My kid doesn't like it when I wear that shirt. He's like, "Don't wear that shirt." I'm like, "Okay." So it just sits in my drawer.
It's a really accessible book, though. Like, because I on the Dreamland Motel, like, I effectively read a book every week, but I actually don't like reading thick, like, word-heavy stuff, and it's good that book's kind of got like stuff. It's got lots of pictures.
But it really is good. It's a very good starting point for anybody, and I feel like I'm a bit of a pro in this, and I still enjoy this book very much.
Yeah,
you're more than a bit of a pro. I'd say you're a pro.
I also grabbed this one finally, the UFO Crash at Aztec book.
Finally, have you got into it?
Oh, sort of. I mean, this is dense as could be. I mean, this is like small print, just like goddamn.
So I've got one I haven't cracked into yet, but I got it, and I didn't realize that Secret Machines is like a phone book.
Oh my god,
it's enormous, and this is like what, book 1 of 9 or something. There's this is just a tremendous amount to get through.
Are you reading the? Is that the nonfiction or fiction?
I mean, it's just secret machines chasing shadows.
Oh, that's the fiction one. That one
Is
has
there a
the most.
nonfiction?
Yeah, that one has the most nuggets of like the information they can't tell you is real, but they based it off of real information. And then the nonfiction ones is like a guide of what's been happening, uh, and they tell you a lot of what's been happening. But the nonfiction ones are with Peter Labenda, and the fiction ones are with A.J. Hartley, who's a novelist.
So where do you get? Did I just when I looked for them on Amazon? Is there another? Are they under
Yeah,
the same title?
no, the nonfiction ones are called Gods, Man, and War.
Oh, that's the yeah. That's the second. This is they're two trilogies, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But they're not related. Like the stories in one have nothing to do with the
No,
stories in the other.
no, they're nonfiction and fiction. Yeah.
Cool. Oh wow, the cover design is great on these. I want to talk about crash retrievals since we talked about this Roswell thing and some of these photos. And there is a well, actually, there's a couple. There's a clip or two that we wanted to get to also. You want to do the Tim Burchett clip first, and we can work our way into crash retrievals because this kind of ties into it.
This is Laszlo too. Got this right?
Laszlo got this clip. Yeah.
You have it queued, I think, don't you, Clint?
I've got it right here. Stand
Lovely.
by. Let's do Tim Burchett. So this is Tim Burchett leaving the hearing on September 9th, and he's talking about he's being asked some questions by Matt Laszlo, and he gives some really interesting answers about what he knows.
Who knows how long, and that we, we think they're coming in from way out. Maybe they did millennia ago, but they're here and they're in these deep water areas, and that's why. I mean, like we say, we know more about the face of the moon than we do what's going on there. And we have a higher propensity of sightings around these 5 or 6, I believe, deep water areas. And so, to me, it just it creates a question there. And then when we have naval personnel telling me that we have these sightings and that there's these underwater craft they're chasing that are doing hundreds of miles an hour, and the best we've got is something that does maybe just a little under 40 miles an hour. So I got a lot of questions about that stuff, and I mean,
That's incredible. I mean, seriously, that's a pretty incredible clip.
Yep.
Yeah, right. Like we've come a long way.
That's a voted in member of our government talking about like deep sea possible bases and NHI coming out of the oceans. That's incredible.
Do you think he's spent a lot of time with Tim Gallaudet, or do you think he's been exposed to some extra stuff as well?
I think both.
Yeah,
I think both.
I think Gallaudet is just like the public face of the Navy stuff, and there's a lot of Navy people that are already talking to Congress people. And
this is a serious question. Do you think he's read the 4chan whistleblowers story? Because that's all about USOs.
I
think
bet
there's a chance.
My guess is that he's not read it, but I bet someone has talked to him about it. I bet the idea has been put in his head by somebody.
yeah. And there are incidents too that have happened inside submarines that not people don't really know about them. But for example, Rich Dolan, his book on USOs talks a lot about these incidents. And I would guess that Tim Burchett and also Burleson talks about an incident that was described to him that is kind of like the Abyss movie.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
there's a lot of stuff that happens related to that. So I think that why he's talking about it so matter of factly is because there's a lot of trained observers from the Navy who have told him about this stuff.
The Abyss, I talked about it on Wednesday, and it is for people who are younger and may not remember that movie. Not only is it one of James Cameron's best movies, But at the time when they made it, it was one of the most complicated movies ever to make. Most of it was shot underwater in gigantic tanks. They had one in SeaWorld Orlando, and then somebody just told me in a message the other day where the other one is. But it was even bigger. And they built this, all the sets were built in the tanks, and then they submerged them underwater. And they had all underwater rigs, and they're shooting this whole thing. And the movie is about a submarine full of nuclear ICBMs that goes down in the ocean, and the only people who can access it are working on this underwater drilling rig that's kind of an experimental rig. So the Navy sends in a SEAL team, and they go down to this rig, and the corporation that owns the rig, they're told, like, you need to assist the Navy in this recovery operation. And so the SEALs are there to get the warheads out of this submarine and recover those. And as all this is going on, there is a non-human intelligence that's monitoring all of this, and it starts to interact with the situation, and it's beautifully done. It was some of the early CGI effects from the late 1980s for the water beings, and it's just really, really well done. And what's interesting about the aliens is that when you see what they look like, it does match up actually a lot with what you kind of see in that Batista video. Kind of looks like that.
Yep. These iridescent, like beautiful, like fluorescent neon light beings at the bottom of the ocean. And the craft that comes up at the end of the movie with all the battleships on it, on the deck of it, also reminds you of the story that we've heard about, that thing coming up and pulling the warhead down, the thing the size of an island that comes out of the ocean.
Yes.
Remember? When the guys are trying to retrieve an actual warhead, like the exact fucking story.
And they have to send Ed Harris down to this. They're so deep that to get where they have to go for him to make contact. I don't want to spoil the movie, but he has to. They use this. I think it was experimental at the time. I don't know if this has turned out to be a real thing or not. But it was so cool. They had him fill his lungs with this oxygen liquid that he could breathe liquid, and so he's in this suit, and that way he could go down to the deeper depths and under pressure. And it's like the SEALs had this experimental technology that they were using, and they talk about it in the movie.
It's like amniotic fluid.
Yeah. And it's just, if you know anything about James Cameron and his approach to filmmaking, he's like very interested in real deep water exploration. Like, he fucking built that sub and went down to the bottom of the ocean himself. I mean, this guy's intense. And that movie hits a lot of the beats that we're seeing today. I think that's really interesting. And I don't think it's necessarily accidental.
Close Encounters in the Abyss are two pretty incredible movies to watch if you kind of want to have a sense of what might be.
I think it's safe to say that him and Spielberg have been told some stuff.
Yep.
Yes, I think you're right. I want to ask you guys about this Leslie Kean thing. Have you heard this clip that's going around? This came from, was it Red Panda Koala?
Let's go. No.
About Leslie Kean's private dinner and what was discussed?
No.
Yeah, I asked about that, and she denies that she talked about anything related to the end of the world at that dinner. I'll just say that. But
please fill us in. What's going on here?
Okay, take a look at this clip.
Bring it in, boys.
It's only about a minute and 40 seconds. So here we go. This is Red Panda talking, and he'll explain.
The movers and shakers, right, on the second string, like some of the bigger podcast hosts, some of the bigger people putting out media, documentary filmmakers, right? They have these after events where they'll have dinners and whatnot. And I'm not saying every single one is like this. And again, I'm not going to name who it is, so I know. I
think James Fox is one of those people.
But somebody who I trust,
for sure.
And especially because I saw the immediate effect on their behavior and their way of thinking, said that after one of these events, they were all at Leslie Kean's house, and basically Leslie Kean told them that all of these UFOs people are seeing is NHI coming back to basically witness the end of the world. There's nothing we can do about it, and the governments all know about it, and they're just kind of waiting till it happens. And my friend, our friend, it's actually everyone on here's friend. I just don't know if you know exactly French we're talking about right now. I know Doomer does. He, I just kind of, now you know it's a guy. He was really shocked by this because it wasn't just Leslie Kean there too. Apparently there were some other like high profile UFO people there. I don't think like Lou or anyone was there, but some other like huge big names, maybe some that are probably going to be in this too, right? Who were there, and just the setting with which this person received this information. And again, this is where you have to be careful too, because it's like cult stuff, right? There's like a whole ritual. You're at the after event of this big conference, and you guys are all here, and now you're going to hit you with this information, but this person took it really seriously and was like, no, they all believe this. And like, they were shocked. They almost wanted to leave the field. They were like in a really crazy mental state.
She has, I like her quite a bit. And she's someone who I would say I trust what she says. But
She's alluded to this stuff before, hasn't she?
She had a very cryptic interview a few years ago, just saying like, I think what's coming is not very good. And, things that we take for granted may not be a reality at some point in the near future.
That was with Kurt Chai-Mongol.
Yeah. Theories of everything. She goes, we're not going to have access to a lot of the things we take for granted. And there's like an awkward pregnant pause. And then he goes, like electricity.
On Kurt Chai-Mongol's show, there was an awkward pause. What?
You don't say.
The joke. The guy is an absolute legend.
He's a monster. And he comes... Favorites. He handles it he asked very direct questions in the face of a very like cryptic answer, and I thought it was just, that's what makes it even weirder, right? It's like listening to you feel like you heard something you weren't supposed to hear, but she basically says, I just don't think much more. He goes, it's at the end of this 2-hour interview and they're wrapping up, and he says, kind of as an offhand remark, just sort of to ease out of the conversation, he's like, so what do you have coming up? What are you working on? What's next for you? And I'm paraphrasing, but that's more or less how he has. And she just goes, well, I don't really think more than a few years ahead. So I got a new book I'm working on, and that's about it. And he goes, he says something to respond to that. And then she gets into this weird groove where she's like, yeah, I just think things are going to get really bad in the next few years. And we're not going to have access to things that we take for granted. And he goes, like electricity. And she goes, like a lot of things that you're used to. And then she totally changes direction and goes off in a different way. And it's just a really weird moment.
I mean, there's a lot of things happening right now that support that, but they don't necessarily have to do with NHI. I mean, I don't know if they do, but not necessarily.
Well, I think you could say that. I think it's safe to say that the world feels less stable now than at any other time in my lifetime. I mean, how about you guys?
100%.
Same.
Like, I think we all feel that, right? There are all kinds of different ways that this thing could go sideways, and it's hard to imagine that none of those things happen at some point. Like, we don't cross something, some boundary where something takes place. There is an uptick in UAP activity. It does kind of correlate with all of the chaos that's going on. Maybe they are here to watch it. Maybe observing a civilization go through the great filter is one of the most amazing scientific things that you can study. If you live in a universe filled with different types of life, when one makes it to our level and then makes a bunch of stupid decisions and wipes ourselves out, you'd probably want to get there before that happens, get as much information on them as you can, because their whole planet's going to be a marble in a few decades.
So do you think maybe there was like an intergalactic press release came out that said, final season of Earth airing now, and they're just kind of getting ready for like the series finale?
I think it's just warning signs. Like, you can look at the chemical makeup of the atmosphere. You can judge like what the livable climate is for this species of creature. You could start to see that's, like, we could see that stuff.
The sun's activity too.
The what activity?
The sun activity.
The
of the sun.
Solar activity. Our nuclear tests. All of it.
3i Atlas has another buddy now coming our way. Another planet-sized thing heading towards us now.
When did this?
2 days ago.
It's from a few days ago.
Swan.
It's not interstellar though. That one, I don't think it's that. That's like a far more common occurrence. It's just.
But it's two things that are both like on a course with each other now, kind of near us. It's like, what the fuck is happening?
I wonder if I would be surprised if NHI are just here to like say bye, guys. It was fun watching.
Thanks for everything.
Well, look at
imagine-
we're either going to give birth to superintelligence, which is kind of where your line of thinking has been lately, right, Xander? I mean, or we're going to wipe ourselves out with it. I mean, that's fascinating to watch. If you wanted to see something really interesting in a universe full of interesting things,
Doomer points for the week. Read.
Yeah.
I
think it makes sense that if they were coming here to watch the end of whatever phase we're in, it's a bit of a Noah's Ark situation. Maybe they know that it's not feasible to take everyone, so they'll just rapture up a few people enough for continuity of species, and then when everything's chilled out a bit on the planet, they plop us back down and we all have another go at it. I don't know. Maybe it's not the first time that's happened.
Well, you're familiar with the 6th Great Mass Extinction event, are you not?
No, please tell. I can't wait.
Okay. Well, you're going to love this. The 6th Great Mass Extinction event. There have been 5 prior mass extinction events on this planet. We are living through the 6th Great Mass Extinction, or the Holocene extinction. It's a current event driven by human activity leading to an unprecedented acceleration of species and habitat loss. Climate change, deforestation, pollution, all of it. And basically it boils down to like half of the species of life that were alive on this planet a century ago are gone. They're just extinct. And the last great mass extinction wiped out the dinosaurs. And this one, it's unlikely that just because we're humans, we don't succumb to this at some level. I mean, we're crossing all kinds of ecological tipping points. So maybe that's, if you're an alien anthropologist or an alien biologist, or you're just looking at these other planets with life on them and they're doing something like this on the planetary scale, I could see how they would observe that with maybe a degree of sadness for us, but also indifference. Like, it's not our job to come in and fix it. It's your job to fix it. And if you can't, then tough titty. That's it.
That's why we got to fight the elites so we can get into those dumps instead of them.
Or with them. I mean, everyone has a right to live, right?
Not if they've been keeping this shit secret for a while, bro. Fuck them.
I don't think we're getting into those bunkers, man.
Yeah, Pavel, you go first. I'll be right behind you.
I don't think that's going to happen.
The other thing worth thinking about is like the Hindus have the yugas, don't they? The yuga cycles, and we're obviously they've been saying this for like the last 100 years, but apparently we're approaching the end of the Kali Yuga, which is supposed to be like, I believe it's like the one where everything kind of falls apart, and then you go back to like the first Yuga, which is like the best one to be in, apparently. Where it's and apparently this has happened several times before.
Well,
so
there was the
strange that lots of
2012 calendar. They were saying it was like the beginning of a new cycle. I always just wonder, though, is that going to play out in my lifetime? Like, will I have a good 20 years to enjoy the new world, or does this play out over centuries and then we're all we live through the shitty part and we miss out on the golden era?
And what if this has happened countless times on this planet?
It probably has.
It's
possible. Think about, and there could have been other advanced civilizations prior to ours that made it off planet, and then came back, or went off and did their own thing.
Or civilizations lived probably in Mars millions of years ago. That's why there are those isotopes of nuclear explosions.
Yep.
And they just found possible evidence of microbial activity in this riverbed, right? Just the other day.
And they found more yesterday. There's another announcement yesterday that they think that now multiple things have lived on Mars.
I just saw that, yeah.
I feel like that's going to be, one of those things that eventually it's going to be so obvious. It's just right now they need to get these samples back to Earth and do some more sophisticated tests on them. But eventually,
they've known
that's the story.
They've known forever.
And that opens a can of worms, right? Like once you have life, once you can show that life exists on more than one planet or did at one time, now you're opening up the conversation to include other advanced civilizations. You can't ignore that anymore because the numbers just go haywire. I mean, look at the Drake equation with a sample size of 1. Once you get a second planet,
And it's the planet next to us.
Neil deGrasse Tyson's going to have to change what he complains about.
Alien life is instantaneously a factual reality scientifically as of like this week.
Yep.
But as well, because it is the planet next to us, it's kind of like, okay.
Oh. But these are probably the only two.
This must be the only two. We are still special. It's just us and this other planet. But you would imagine, if it's on the planet next to us, it's. I mean, there's evidence of sort of like water under the surface on the moons of Saturn, I think it is. Where there's water, there's life. Somebody from NASA said that this week, I believe. Where there is water, there is life. So if there's liquid water anywhere else in the solar system, it would be strange if there wasn't life, because every time we've seen water, even on the more contaminated sulfur lakes of planet Earth, those are teeming with life. And that's a huge extreme. We know that extremophiles actually can survive the vacuum of space as well.
I wonder if where there's water, there's life means that where there's life, there's water. Can there be life where there's no water?
I mean, I imagine there could be some exotic forms of life that do all kinds of things. I mean, there's silicon-based life has been talked about as a possible other form. There was a group that just came out about 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, that they created artificial life, or what is it called? Reverse. Oh, fuck! I have to look up the link. I've got the link somewhere, but they created this artificial life form in a lab setting that was really bizarre, and I'll dig it up if I can find it here.
Should we even touch on that crazy guy growing an alien in his kitchen?
Do we have that clip?
It's so hilarious. I
don't spend too long.
I don't know what to make of that, but
I'm not buying it, but like it's been very, very fun to watch.
I covered it though.
What you covered something?
Yeah. I covered the initial videos because I thought they were at least interesting, and I don't think it's true at face value, but if it is, it's fucking wild.
the silver potato.
But there is an explanation of some kind of chemical reaction that happens to materials where they move by themselves, like that thing was moving. So potentially the debunk is that this guy knows about this chemical reaction, and he was just doing that and filming it, because let's face it, in Latin America, it's all third world countries, and hoaxes are like one of the most prevalent sources of income for these people, because they don't have passage because they don't have a way to make a living. So one of the best ways to do that is by creating these types of hoaxes. So right now I'm obviously leaning towards that, but it's certainly very interesting to watch, and it definitely went hyper viral.
I think it's complete crap, but I'm having fun watching it.
Yeah.
But if
where's the video? What's it called? If I can look it up,
I'll try and find
it. The dude is named Ken Panama on TikTok.
That's such a cool name.
Ken
Panama sounds like a drug dealer.
Hell yeah, dude.
It's a young
drug. He's like, I just got to fly my plane down to.
Dude, he filmed
down to Peru.
Thing. He started like touching it with his hands, and I'm like, dude, if this is true, that shit is not safe at all.
Yeah,
have you not watched every movie that talks about this, how it goes?
We've seen this. It comes in through your skin, dude. You're dead.
Yeah. And he allegedly sent it to a bunch of different labs that contacted him. And the thing grew. It started like walking on its own. He put it in a safe. And it kept growing and moving. And now he has it.
Where is all this shit? Where is this?
Mike
is
Batista
this on UFOs or aliens?
Mike Batista got a video of it. And he put it on the reality check. I'm kidding.
Well, someone's got a video of it, right? I saw a clip of it, but I didn't see the whole video. I just saw like some little looked like a hermit crab or something.
There's like 50 videos because it's growing so fast all the time. We don't have to really cover it, but like,
I just wanted to see one of them. I'm just to see like what. I'm just scrolling around on Reddit, so this is not productive. But that is interesting. I wonder what it is. I'll have to dig it up and look at it.
It's already so big. If
It's so big.
real, yeah.
Oh, he's
Yeah,
got
right
it.
there
Okay,
on
here
the
we go.
jar. Look at that thing. Ugh.
All right. So we're looking at a table. Oh, that just looks like something that you pull out of your shower drain. Yeah. I have a tub shroom in my shower drain. You ever use the tub shroom?
The one in the left is how it's supposed to be right now. It's like really big now, and it's kind of breathing or moving, and it grew out of what looks like a potato, but this guy says that it's like a
meteorite. But I mean, straight up, it's a potato painted silver. I mean, come on, guys.
Oh, okay. This looks like a weird fungus.
Disclosure has happened. We just did it. Case closed. Pack it up.
Yeah, I would show this to Paul Stamets and get his the Stamets stack.
This is what Leslie Keane was talking about.
That's so weird. Do you remember, Dan? I think you're probably the only one. I'm going to say 3 words. Tell me if this jogs a memory. Faces of Death.
I mean, which part 2, part 3, of course.
Yeah.
You know Faces of Death? Okay. Well,
Yeah,
you're a
I know
younger
Faces
guy.
of
I didn't know if
The first time I saw it, my mom and stepdad had a party at my house growing up, and like they sent the kids to bed, which obviously means like, well, obviously I'm going to sneak out and see why I have to go to bed.
Yeah.
So they had a party with their friends where they rented Faces of Death, and I watched it from like around the wall, just being like, oh, whoa, that's a guy being electrocuted.
Oh my God, that was such a weird. That was on VHS. I remember.
I interviewed the guy. I interviewed the main guy that put Faces of Death together, and it was a fascinating. Right before he died.
Oh wow! Do you have any takeaways?
No,
that you can
I mean
share?
it was all staged. It was mostly fake. There's a couple things in it that were actual, videos of death or trauma, but mostly it was fake.
Like a low budget horror kind of
Yeah,
experimental.
it was like a fake snuff film, and then later on they started adding in more kind of real things. But then there was a spin-off called Traces of Death, where the guy they would the bed of music was all like heavy metal, and the guy talked like this, and there's one line, a very hungry, very neglected dog decided to make a meal of his face, and it showed like it was just like, and with metal music behind it. It was so ridiculous.
This is before the internet. You couldn't get anything, and you couldn't see anything weird unless you found it on like a VHS cassette tape someplace, and like
From
that
a
was
flea
something
market. Remember the stuff you find at flea markets?
Yeah, or where people would do like bootleg stuff or all kinds of weird stuff. Faces of Death had this thing where there was like, I don't know if you remember the one where it was supposed to be somewhere in, I want to say it was in like Russia or something, but it was like a sewer creature. They were like, oh, this thing was found in a pond, and it was like a super giant slug thing that like
I don't
lived
think so.
in the sewer, and they showed it, and it was just I'll have to dig around and see if I can. It just never ever left me. This reminds me exactly of that kind of stuff. It was like,
And that
watching
slug
Faces of Death.
became our president. I can't believe it.
And me, I became a podcaster.
Faces.
I
of
have.
Death.
That was a crazy one. Okay, I want to show you guys this clip really quick. Let me just find it. It's not a clip, it's a article. But I need a second to find it. Here we go. I think this is it. Okay. So we were talking about this crash Roswell photo, and that kind of dovetails into this crash retrieval conversation that's been going on lately, and Skywatcher and what they're up to. And I was doing a little research on something unrelated, and I came across this article, and I wanted to share it with you guys. But basically, the question was, that's on my mind, is like, if you had a crash retrieval, who would you want on that team? Like, what kind of people would you put on your crash retrieval team? Because we hear a lot of stuff about psionics and what these guys do, but I'm just wondering, like, what else would you need to pull it off? And there's one right here. This is the Department of Energy had a nuclear commando task force in the 1980s that I would say it looks like it's straight out of Stargate, but Counter-Strike. First of all, like the first thing that caught my attention about this is just how badass these guys look. And when you see this photo, they actually publish a photo of these guys, and it literally looks like the Stargate team. If you scroll down to the bottom, they're all standing together. And these are the Department of Energy Nuclear Commando Task Force. There's a special team of highly trained special forces people that are able to deal with nuclear material, class 1 nuclear material, move it. They can parachute into an area. They can secure a site. They can secure the material and basically put it into a package that would be retrieved by somebody like Jake Barber and then taken to another place.
So these are some that Gerb sent to us as well. So it's just random coincidence that Gerb saw your post on Reddit and then posted it to us. And
I was going to say 3 additional paragraphs.
Yeah, and then he gave us a hell of a load of context for the idea that the Department of Energy Special Response Team do, in fact, participate in some of this stuff. And then he attached some pretty cool photos as well.
Xander, I was going to say that before you even mentioned Gerb's name, that one of my highlights from the DC trip was the night that you, me, and Gerb sat, and the conversation that we had about crash retrievals was one of my highlights of the trip.
Yeah,
No, I mean, we're talking about it's this kind of stuff. I mean, there's some other stuff, but like this is mostly what it was, like the kind of teams, the kind of people that go in, and it's really, really neat.
So that I mentioned here in my episode that I published the Washington episode tonight, and I remember very vividly checking the door twice when I got back to the apartment. I made sure that shit was locked.
It feels spooky to have those conversations. It feels very it just feels really weird. Remember the guy that was really the guy, the sunglasses guy who just walked up all black head to toe, sunglasses, navy cap, and he's like, "I like your show." I'm like, who the fuck is this guy wearing black sunglasses? We're inside. He sat there for the whole thing, like 2 chairs over, and just sat there with sunglasses on the whole time. Then he leans over at the end. He's like, "I like your show." And I was like, "What?"
I would have definitely asked him, "Who the fuck are you?"
He just had a cap on that said Navy, and then aviator sunglasses, black, and he was wearing all black head to toe. Not a suit though, like a fucking jogging gear, like you would go out for a run.
There is an image of him online.
The only guy not in a suit.
Oh, there is?
Yeah.
Let's show him.
I don't. Nah.
He's probably a really cool guy. I just got major
chilling,
spooky vibes from that encounter.
The guy.
By the way, I got recognized in the wild again for being part of this show. So people are watching your show, guys. It's working.
Dude, where did you get recognized? What happened?
I'm in rehearsals right now with I'm about to go on tour, and one of the guys that works at the rehearsal spot saw me. Hey, Bender, if he's watching, what's up, dude? And he goes, "Where do I know you?" I'm like, "Well, I've been coming here for 20." He goes, "Night shift. You do night shift?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude." So we've been talking a shitload. I gave him one of the Psionics team hats that you gave us in DC.
Oh, that's awesome. But we'll send him some more stuff.
You got fans everywhere.
Oh, that's great. Well, you got fans everywhere. I think that's awesome.
They know me from you.
Well, these just to go back, I want to show this photo because these guys are amazing. This looks like. Can you cut back to this? Did you show this one already?
Oh, look at that.
This is from 1987. This is like the OG team, and basically in this article it says photojournalist Steve Northup captured a series of images of the obscure team in training back in 1987 at the Department of Energy's Central Training Academy, now known as the DOE National Training Center, which is on Kirtland Air Force Base in Albuquerque, New Mexico. According to the department, the pictures are from a tactical crisis resolution training where Northup captured team members responding to a simulated attack, moving through the wilderness, clearing small cabins, and firing on targets. Team members plowed through an obstacle course, conducted marksmanship training, and rappelled from helicopters, all skills they need if they had to respond to a potential nuclear terrorism threat. And these guys are just specially trained to like recover nuclear material and move it around from place to place. So this seems like exactly the team you would want. It says the FPF is made up of contractors rather than pulled from the Defense Department, although members require security clearances to work in their assignments under their direct mission stemming from the Atomic Energy Act of 1954. The unit's main job is to prevent any outside force from seizing Category 1 nuclear material. To that end, they're trained to defend sites against potentially overwhelming forces. They also have some jurisdiction to make arrests if they see a threat, which is pretty much what you would expect, right?
Yes.
So go
among the
a little bit of
FPF
context as well. But yeah, you go.
Do you want to read Gerb's text?
So he just sort of added to that. Hang on a second. So yeah, he just dropped like a huge amount of information on us just randomly this afternoon. But he added you and then said, Department of Energy Special Response Teams specifically have arrest on-site authority within the continental United States, and are trusted with transporting CBRNE. So, I don't know what that is. Let me check Gerb's acronym document.
Gerb needs to provide a PDF of...
He has one.
He already
glossary
did.
of terms to understand.
Yeah.
He already did.
I just can't remember what I did with it. Did I close it? I don't think I did. Here
While you're looking for that, I'll read just one more paragraph.
Sure.
It says here that among the FPF, the department also fields special response teams, which are meant to handle special operations such as hostage rescue or regaining control of any stolen nuclear material. The teams go through, get this, rigorous training to meet any potential threat that includes ambushes while transporting nuclear material, direct attacks on facilities, and responding to potential nuclear terrorist incidents. NNSA policy calls for a special response team to be stationed at every site with nuclear material, and these forces are heavily armed with armored vehicles, miniguns, and other weapons, which is just a link and it doesn't give me anything. Those teams are also backed up by the wider group of federal protective forces at each DOE site.
When you think of someone that works at the DOE, you don't think of them having that kind of uniform. You know what I mean?
Well, okay, so there's this clip, and it's of John Weygandt talking about what he saw at the crash retrieval site in Peru. And let me see if I can switch over to
Is
show
this
this
the
one.
one he linked?
I don't know if
Because
it's
I may
the
have
one.
that queued up. I don't know.
I've got it right where he starts talking about the DOE
okay.
guys.
Great. Hang on. I'll share your screen.
This is on Safari. Let me move it over to Chrome tab.
Just to finish off what Gerb said. So, yeah, somebody pointed out in the audience that CBRNE stands for chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear, and explosive. So, stuff you don't want to touch with your hands. So they have the authority to arrest on site within the United States as it pertains to transporting materials like that. And yeah, they've derived their authority from the 1954 Atomic Energy Act, which has been used to misclassify UFO materials since that time, basically. They are responsible for all on-site retrievals within the United States, and are almost certainly the INDOSEC force responsible. I don't know what INDOSEC is. For transporting actual UFO materials across the United States, and that includes below ground as well. As we all know, Gerb loves an underground military base, rightly so. Special response team was formerly trained and staffed by contracting forces, most prominently Wackenhut, who are now for G4S Solutions. And yeah, then he linked effectively 2 of his own videos, which is absolutely fine. He can, because he's got it all in his videos.
Yeah.
Just basically the descriptions of both Roderick Castle and Jonathan Weygandt, talking about the teams that they encountered.
He, I think, expressed a little doubt about Weygandt's story as well, if I interpreted that right. He was like, I'm not sure about Weygandt. But let's show this Weygandt clip, because I just want people to hear the detail that he describes this with, because he's Weygand only gave 2 interviews, and he gave this one, and he gave one more like a decade later, and then he was like, I don't ever want to talk to anybody again, and he just vanished. Here he is.
It was permanent. I think he's been in operation for a while. They had the big D, Delta Oscar Echo on the back of a couple of the guys were wearing like these rain jackets because it had been raining the previous day, and they were in there, and there were other guys that were wearing containment like biological suits. It wasn't like that. It was more high tech, like those big jump suits that you zip up the back and you can like wear a breathing apparatus in there. Those guys, there was about 30 of them at least, and they marched right by me as I was being taken away. They were marching to get down into the cliff. I guess they were in there to check this thing out. What do I think happened? I think they went in there and they took everything out and they shipped it back home, I think. The behavior of the people, this is routine, man. I mean, these guys are squared away. They know exactly what they're doing. They've been trained to do this stuff before. That was the atmosphere, the total professional, cold, unassuming nature. It's just, we're here to do a job and, get the fuck out of our ways is basically the attitude. I was raised in a Christian home to believe that there was a God and that he created everything, the universe, and here they are, these creatures that I've never seen before, never come in contact with, and this happens, man, and it made me go almost crazy, not like suicidal, but I just couldn't. I had to like reevaluate everything that I knew. It's sort of like when you're a kid, you've been told Santa Claus is real, and then you find out that he's really not, and the Tooth Fairy, it's like now that there's no going back. There's no denial. There's no saying, well, this is, I didn't really see this, and I couldn't really deal with it. It was that what do? Do I tell people? But I mean, who's going to believe that a lance corporal in the Marine Corps in the middle of the fucking jungle is going to see an aircraft like this? It's more like I was sitting and watching a film, like I was sitting and I was watching what was happening, and I was basically with these aliens, these creatures, and they were touching me, not like sexually or with instruments or anything. They were holding my hands.
I'm not gay. Just
had
make
their
it
hands
clear.
on me. They
Not in a
had
gay
4
way.
fingers, by the way.
And what feeling did you get from them?
It was a warm, like loving feeling, like you would have if you were with a family. These creatures are like, I guess you could, probably the closest thing I could say that they were like almost like angels. And if I had to, I'd go with them right now. I mean, I'd get, and I had this obsession with that. I guess because of the pain of the experience and then the Marine Corps, that I just wanted to escape, and I was thinking about, being with these creatures a lot and wanting to go with them and wanting to get out of here. Because these different agencies are just on their own. They don't obey the law. They're rogue, they're just off on their own. Do I think this is a project that goes up through the government and everyone has a piece in it? No. I think these guys just operate on their own. No one knows what they do. These guys, they're just off on their own. There's no oversight, no control. They just do whatever they want. They don't, they're evil, man. These people are evil. Do I think it goes to Bill Clinton and to the Congress? There may be guys up there that know about it. They're not going to say anything, man. If they say anything, they're through, For those of you who don't know, and I know Marine snipers that, I've heard other guys talk about it, and I've heard that these guys, they go on the streets and they stalk people and they kill them. I know that Army Airborne snipers do the same thing. They use Delta Force to go grab these people and silence them by killing them. And maybe something else ought to tell. And if this goes on, where do they get the money to finance all this stuff? Well, very simply, either they're selling arms, they're selling drugs. A lot of this business about having the spec ops and they get these unlimited amounts of money. Well, they're not coming. It's not coming from the government coffer. It's coming from running drugs or weapons.
That might be one of the reasons they don't want anybody disclosing all this stuff. That would be a real can of worms.
Why are the Marines being messed with so much? It's so many of them at this point. It's him, it's Herrera, it's Castle. It's
Marines are just seem to be like consistently they hardcore. They're like, they say it like it is. It's just kind of a Marine Corps thing. It's a mindset these guys have, and they just don't. I don't know. I wonder if it is like something that's just unique to the way Marines are. Every Marine I know is kind of like just a little more hardcore than anybody else. I don't know what it is. It's just like a Marine thing. Maybe that's something to do with it. I mean, he said that what he describes earlier in the video is how they had this missile that explodes like a shotgun blast next to the craft. That I guess at some point they stopped using these, but it shoots a shockwave and a bunch of shrapnel at the craft and disables the aircraft. And it took this thing right down. And he said that there was this underground base, and it looked like it had been there for a long time. This is Weygant, and he's like, it was a military base, and they were tracking these things, and they had tons. He's like, they went underground, and they had all this gear. It looked like this just next level setup. And he's like, I think they've been there for a long time, and they think they've been tracking these things for a long time. And I think the drug interdiction was a cover to watch these things come in and out. And so one of the things that got me onto this story was this Hellfire missile video hitting that UAP and bouncing off without really causing much damage. And it's clear that we do know how to shoot some of these things down, because they do. So the Delta Force guys or the JSOC guys who went in after that, the DOE guys, to do all that recovery, that just seems like an enormous operation. And he's a ton of detail in this interview about it.
It's a good one.
And by the way, I don't know if everybody saw this, but Gerb clarified he does believe Weygant generally. He just has some questions about the people that were on the ground. Yeah. Questions about the on-site armed men, who they were, possibilities from strongest to weakest. In my opinion, JSOC, Local 7th, Special Operations, and SRT. Okay.
Hey, Gerb,
I give him like 3 months before he just starts talking in binary, because it's just more efficient to do so.
It's literally like talking to Fox Mulder, listening to Gerb talk. It's like my brain hurt. At one point when we were all in the car together, I turned to him and I was just like, "Are you like afraid for your safety just because of the amount of information you know?"
Like,
and he's like,
"No,
nah, I'll say that shit tomorrow." Oh, okay.
Hey, Gerb, while I have you here, please check your messages. Yeah, good stuff.
What else did we? Oh, I have a fun one for the end of the day. You guys want to wrap up with something fun?
Hell yeah!
What percentage of doom does it contain?
A fair amount. I mean, it's going to look really scary when you.
We crushed the doom today. I'm proud of us. We did really good. Heavy doom today.
We broke the meter.
The doom meter. We need a doom meter. Let's see. Where is this link for you? It's the coolest thing, and I set it aside just for the end of the show today. Here it is. Okay, so been a lot of discussion lately about the robot apocalypse, the AI apocalypse, and when the metal ones come for you, what do you do? How do we fight back? I don't know if you guys saw this video. I think it was a Unitree robot the other day. I covered it Wednesday, and this guy was kicking the shit out of this robot. Did you see it?
Yeah, of course. I think I tweeted about it, about why I said, never mind. I'm not going to say what I said.
But he was drop kicking this thing. You cannot knock it down. It just, as soon as it goes down, it just pops right back up faster than a human being, like faster than Bruce Lee. And it's starting to get a little scary. So I was just
wild. Oh
my God.
Why do we keep teaching these things to fight? Why is it always fighting? Defend this kick, robot. Defend this punch, robot. How about just like,
I think you're going to see
a
human fight a robot in a. You might see a UFC fight against a machine.
Real battle boss.
Hold this gun, robot.
Yeah. Just point at me like I'm a bad guy.
Take a look.
Don't pull the trigger, please.
At this clip. This is from a company called Mehler, MEHLER Protection. This is the Exom Up Armored Exoskeleton. This is a real thing. Watch this. I can't play the music because I don't have the license for it, but look at this.
Oh,
This is an armored, like Iron Man suit. Watch this. It's all body armor, ballistic body armor. I guess I don't know what the ballistic protection level is, but it looks pretty robust.
What the fuck are we doing?
We need a new meters, definitely.
So you can run with this thing on. You can carry like an extra 200 pounds.
Oh, good.
You can kick the shit out of a robot, I guess. This is like that Elysium battle suit that Matt Damon wore.
What is
when I play Call of Duty?
What is life? What are we doing?
I just think, man, this is so crazy. The future, the future is so scary. Look at this thing. Okay, there you go.
So it's just a full like exoskeleton at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a fake spine right there that looks like an actual spine.
Well, I think it's just to protect your own spine, right?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So you can haul all that body armor around and not get exhausted.
It's all hydraulic. It all works hydraulically. Like the thing Ripley's in at the end of Alien, where just kind of like, you know, you move and the. Oh man.
Now I want to see if I can find that robot kung fu video.
So you know,
again, with
fun
a guy.
fact about that, the Ripley suit. There were 2 people in that suit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So obviously it wasn't a real robot. So they had a guy behind Ripley,
man.
a really quite a big guy, and he was like held up by wires at the same time. So it was just this big balancing act between wires. Ripley,
I've
and
seen
a
the behind the
guy,
scenes
like,
of that.
Yeah, it's crazy how they did
Stumbling
it.
and
It was like, what year was that?
80. Aliens was 85. 85?
It was pre-Xander
86.
Jones is what it was.
I'm gonna say it was
It
86.
was pre-me. And yeah, that's how they did it. I thought it was really cool.
Did you see the this is the
86.
Chinese robot drone? Check this out. I'm going to share this. All right, this is just last couple of minutes here before we. Oh wait, did I just cancel that? Hang on.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it might be better if you
Xander.
private chat me the link, purely because I think your screen's a little bit
Little lag.
a little bit laggy. So if you
Hang on,
private,
I got you.
yeah.
Hang on, I'll private chat the link here. Private chat. On the next private chat.
All right.
Previously on private chat. So these are the new Chinese police droids. I'm just calling them droids now. I don't care.
Oh yeah.
And these things can shoot tear gas. They can shoot nets. They can roll like 30 miles an hour.
BB hate.
That's great.
Thanks.
It looks like
That's
a mix
insane.
between Black Mirror and those machines from that Tom Cruise film about
Yeah.
what was that film where they go like
Minority Report.
no
Oh.
but yes, also those.
Look at this.
But
Dude, this is what
what
Peter
film
Thiel
is it?
gives his stocking stuffers for Christmas.
I
this is
know this. Look at this thing swimming in the water.
This is what Thiel
30
gets
kilometers.
his niece and nephew for Christmas.
Oblivion was the film I was thinking.
Oblivion.
Oblivion. Imagine 20 of those things chasing you.
I don't want to.
I don't want to either. Imagine, Scott
Black
says,
Mirror
imagine
is
5
here.
to 10 years from now.
We won't
Oh,
be
the
here.
chat's on fire today. Let's check the leaderboard. Chris Hovard's #1 on the leaderboard for the chat today. George Psionic Man is up here. UAP Gerb is strong #3. Thanks, Gerb. Wow, great. That's awesome. Brian Park, #4, and Magic Russ, #5 out of the top 10. Obi-Wan Shinobi's in 6th place. Geraldine. And it goes all the way to the top 100? No, top 50. So I don't know what you get for all these points that you guys accumulate when you're in the chat, but it says you accumulate XP. So maybe you can level up and get disclosure for us.
I heard that
Maybe you meet
the
Bijou.
ones, the top 5, they're the ones that get raptured before the rest
Oh.
of us are left.
So there is incentive.
Yeah.
There's incentive.
There's a doom incentive.
Yeah.
Chris Hovard just shouted out with a link to subscribe to Dan's channel, Others from Another Mother. Please, guys, go there and subscribe.
Thanks. Thanks.
Click that link. It's in the chat, and we'll also.
By the
share it
way,
online.
your breakdown of the hearings, I love that, bro.
Thank you, bud. Thank you. Yeah, I think we did a pretty good job with that one. Put that video out yesterday or the day before. Thank you. Appreciate it.
I am looking forward to the next one. And I think we were saying the next trip is going to be the next big away team trip will be Contact in the Desert. The next one.
Hell yes.
I feel like that's a must do. We have enough time now. When do they? Is it the same time every year?
Pretty much. I think June.
I mean, I hope the world isn't burning by then, but yeah,
it's burning.
Yeah,
now,
we
so
may not have a functional
past one of the deadlines.
You would think it's burning now, right?
Yeah.
It feels
Wait a
pretty
year.
dark out there. Wait a year. Yeah. On that note,
let's go one day at a time, fellas.
Let's just take it one day at a time. Well, guys, is there anything else we want to add before we wrap it up today? All right.
Okay, chat rules. Thanks.
Thanks, everybody, for watching today. Thanks for being a part of our chat and participating in the conversation. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. It's always fun to sit down with you guys every week and just sort of decompress a little bit and talk about the weirdness of everything that's going on out there in the world. Sometimes you gotta vent. You gotta just let it out. It's healthy. Cholesterol's a killer, people. We're going to be back in a couple of days. We're going to take the weekend and try to recover from all the doom. And I hope you guys will get out, touch some grass, get away from the computer screen, do something healthy and fun, and take care of yourselves a little bit and each other. We will see you soon. Until then, keep looking up.